avec notre premier choix au repêchage with our first pick in the 2022 NHL Draft. Les Canadiens de Montréal sont fiers de repêcher from the Slovakian national team and DPS Turku, Juraj Slafkovsky.
Wait, what? They did not choose Shane Wright?
The big Slovakian MVP, the 2022
What?
Olympics, not Shane Wright, who just can only clap right now. Led the tournament
Oh
in goals,
no.
7 of them. Slovakia earns the bronze, first ever Olympic.
The Devils are next.
Big reason why. He's a big
So
dude,
Shane
making
Wright
check
is the
out
one
why
that was
he's number
predicted
one
to be the
overall.
No, first overall pick, and Montreal didn't choose him.
He is described as
Oh
as a
my
senior
God.
This guy's a left wing. What about Shane Wright? What was
Center. But Shane Wright was projected to be number 1, and he isn't. And the worst part is the Devils are gonna pick next. And I swear to God, if Shane Wright becomes a Devil, I'm gonna be very upset.
If the Montreal had taken Shane Wright, then the Devils would have gotten this far.
Yeah, but still, Shane Wright is the projected number 1. How is he not number 1?
He's already got an NHL body. He's well over 200 pounds. He's played against men for the last couple of seasons in Finland. I have not seen.
Oh, he has 10 points in 31 games.
This is a brief stay at the World Juniors, and from what I saw, this is a guy that can play at the top level. Montreal obviously is thin up front, and they're going to need a guy like him. A bit surprising that they didn't take the center, but this is a guy that is flashy.
Yeah, it is.
Personality. We wanted some
now, where is that shocked elderly woman that was in the NHL Draft in 2018?
That what? Elderly woman?
Yeah, that was at the draft in 2018. Like when Jesperi Kotkaniemi was chosen, that she was shocked in disbelief.
Bonsoir Montréal. J'aimerais remercier la ville de Montréal, Jeffrey Molson et le Canadien de Montréal pour la belle hospitalité pour toute la semaine. Merci beaucoup. Also, I'd like to say hi to all our fans back in New Jersey at the Stone Pony at our draft party. Pour nommer la sélection de nouvelle assistante gérante Kate Madigan.
Who is she?
Someone. Devils assistant GM.
Et avec le deuxième choix, the Devils du New Jersey, the second selection, the New Jersey Devils, proud to select from Nitra, Simon Nemec.
What?
He's a
Yeah. They didn't choose Shane Wright.
190 pounds.
They chose what they need, a defenseman.
I know, but they didn't choose Shane Wright. Montreal was giving them the draft pick that people want, and they still didn't choose him.
They really need a defenseman. Why should they choose a center when they already have too many centers?
Team transition, carrying the puck into the offensive zone, and he's also a highly involved plays on the puck in all zones. So we have.
I mean, I feel bad for Shane Wright for not being in the top 2. But I'm glad to know that the Montreal Canadiens aren't the only team that are idiots. It's good to know that the Devils still are.
Maybe LeBron could have played in the NBA at 15, but aside from that,
I just wish they had the draft. I wish they have a draft party or people reacting to the draft in New Jersey and hear the deadly screams and moans and sadness and anger of the Devils' friends.
He's got a great brain from what I understand. His puck game is terrific.
Oh my
Who's the
god.
next team up?
The Coyotes.
Maybe the Coyotes.
Looks like that looks like the Coyotes might have Shane Wright. This could
Sure,
be
Shane Wright won't be happy about that. Although the Devils aren't good either.
yeah, I mean Shane Wright is probably a person that the Coyotes need. Because all the Coyotes have are Clayton Keller, Phil Kessel, Jacob Chikrin, and that's it. Shane Wright could likely become their #1 center. He could lead the Coyotes back to greatness.
It's like Christmas morning. Last year was about Michigan 1-2. This year it's about Slovakia. Emily Kaplan in Montreal.
Oh, so both those first two guys
How
are
did he land on his
Slovakian,
pick?
huh?
Yeah.
You know what, this draft has been pretty unique. You know, with all the depth that we've all seen.
The only way this part could have been more funny if the Devils decided to trade their second overall pick to the Rangers and have us choose Shane Wright.
When does Simon first get on your radar?
Arizona selects from the U.S. National Development Program, Logan Cooley.
What?
Oh my god!
Arizona? What are you doing?
Pennsylvania-born player ever selected. It was R.J. Umber in 16, but now it's Logan Cooley. Shane
They
Wright,
feel
the
like
only
he's a
clap
better
once
fit
again.
for their team.
Better than Shane Wright, the projected #1 pick?
Well, he has a bit of that wow factor, similar to Shane Wright in terms of like elite
Jeez,
shot,
Coyotes. The Coyotes just never
told
change.
me that he has that hockey sense that will translate at an NHL level.
It's like they want to suck forever.
An American player that they know really well, probably have scouted very well in a difficult season to scout these players. I think it's a great player.
Born in Pittsburgh, he's going to play for the Minnesota Golden Gophers this year, Brian.
Incredibly skilled, super fast. The puck is always on his stick. I mean, when this kid crosses the blue line, yeah, I mean, we've seen that a lot this year.
love that.
Yeah, us goalies don't like that stuff, but he certainly is exciting. But I'll tell you, every time he crosses the blue line, you're going to jump out of your seat when this kid has the puck on his stick. And to me, he's the most dynamic player in this draft. And I thought maybe Arizona would go with the safe pick, but they're going to go with a little bit of flash. Nothing wrong with that. Cooley's certainly well deserving of it.
Whoa, he got 27 goals, 48 assists, in 51 games.
To manufacture offense with every touch, and it's very rare to say. And that really speaks to the creativity that he has when he has the puck, his ability to improvise, manipulate defenders, and basically be a conductor on the ice offensively. So this is a really, really good pick. Great value for them having him here. He's an electrifying player, no doubt.
You're losing some energy, but I have 2 trades still.
2.
That's good.
What's this?
You want to hear the 2 trades? They involve the Canadians.
Oh!
Trade number 1. Montreal Canadiens trade Alexander Romanov and pick number 98 in this year's
Oh, Romanov is
draft
traded.
to the New York Islanders in exchange for pick number 13 in this year's draft. Trade number 2. Montreal trades picks number 13 and 66 in this year's draft to the Chicago Blackhawks in exchange for Kirby Dach.
Kirby Dach!
Who's Kirby Dach?
Formerly a player from the Blackhawks.
So is he very good?
Yeah, and very young. Like,
The 4th selection.
Chicago, what are you doing? This is not how you make a rebuild. the best players you should be giving up is Jonathan Taves and Patrick Kane, not young new players like Kirby Dach and Alex DeBrincat.
How's number 3? Yeah, that's great.
When I first heard the trade, I thought they were gonna say like they made their trade for Seattle's 4th pick, and then have Shane Wright chosen as number 4.
Seattle Kraken are proud to select from the Kingston Frontenac's Shane Wright.
There we go. Finally.
Ron
The
Francis.
old center iceman can't resist.
Thank you, Seattle.
Shane Wright falls to 4. He goes to Seattle. It's a
I'm pretty sure that has never happened before, where the projected number 1 pick goes down to 4. I think it's the highest.
Really?
I don't remember another time where a projected number 1 pick goes down lower.
I remember one year there was like a guy that I felt so sorry for. I forgot who it was.
But it wasn't
It wasn't a number 1 guy, but it was somebody.
It was a high draft pick.
And he ended up not even being in the top 10.
We noticed that, and we saw some from the first that were projected to be in the first round to get selected after.
Right.
That's not bad if you're Seattle.
Yeah, but Shane Wright, he's officially gonna be one of the big faces of Seattle. Thanks to the Canadians, the Devils, especially the Devils, and the Coyotes for being idiots. Well, 32 goals, 62 assists, and in 63 games.
It's not like he had a bad year.
So 94 points in 63 games. 94 points. Nearly 100 points. And 3 teams passed on him. Especially Montreal, who chose a guy with 10 points. Shouldn't be surprised because it's a team run by Jeff Gordon.
His commitment to his craft, his maturity, coming from a great family.
He's part of the hockey operations. Of course he would be.
Those are very important to Ron Francis.
Yeah, but he's not the head guy. It's not like he's,
but
he was with us, the GM.
But hockey operation is higher than GM.
I think him and Matty Beniers, as you pointed out, are going to add a lot of value down the middle for that franchise.
Yeah, but I gotta say, this has gotta. I mean.
Canada to the gold in 2021.
Yeah, again, 3 teams passed on him. Just why?
Now, hold on a sec. For the Islanders, remember there was a guy for you Islander fans out there, because I know you right now on Jericho Turnpike. You're out there complaining in Long Island. I get it.
It makes me wonder. I wonder if Mike Milbury and Peter Chiarelli are secretly in charge of the Devils and Coyotes.
With a ton of upside. I think he's going to be a nice piece out there on Long Island.
Peter Chiarelli.
Why are you saying that?
So again, the Isles give up that.
Because they're known to be the worst GMs in history. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because I don't know how else they choose not Shane Wright. Wow, Alexander Romanov to the Islanders.
Hello. With the 5th overall pick, the Philadelphia Flyers are proud to pick Cutter Gauthier.
Gauthier.
Yeah, Gauthier, not Gauthier.
He's a big, thick, young kid, 6'2", 190. He can hit a golf ball 280 right-handed
Was he the
and
next person
He's an
like
ambidextrous freak.
projected?
I don't know. I lost track.
Yeah, and Coach Nightingale mentions his power and physical nature, but also his shot being a standout skill. His strength are his scoring abilities with quality shots, allowing him to score on set goalies, which is actually rare. He's able to get to the slot and around the net consistently for puck recoveries, and he led the IHF Under-18 tournament in shot attempts off the rush with
And he's
17.
Swedish.
Great on the boards too, a power skill player along the
Where did you
walls.
say that?
And you can see comparatively with some of the other players, a lot more mature physically as well. Pretty mature physically. You were talking about that athleticism that he has, the explosiveness that he has, and maybe flew under the radar a little bit. Perhaps there at the NDTP based on a lot of the other elite offensive players.
Well, apparently not this one.
Well, he could be of French descent, even though he lives in Sweden.
Yeah, this is a guy that they really liked. If he was available, they're going to take him first. The people that I talked to, they had their eyes set on either Nemitz or Jiricek as well, but now that Gauthier was there, he's available. He's a versatile player. I think the Flyers look at him as a center, not a winger. He did play both at the NTDP. He was a winger with Logan Cooley. They played on the same line. They had a heck of a time filling the net, but I think the Flyers look at him as a center down the road for their hockey club. So a big guy. They need centers, the Flyers do. They're in certainly in a retool situation, but a guy that plays hard and has a heck of a shot. I mean, his shot is what stands out.
He's headed to Boston College. Tears in mom's eyes, of course, as the Arizona product. Heading to Boston College first.
Boston College. I was about to say, I think Gauthier would easily become the perfect replacement for Claude Giroux.
The 6th overall pick, the Columbus Blue Jackets are proud to select from Czech Pilsen David Jiricek.
Oh, you're a
6'3",
Czech.
190, big, strong, offensive-minded defenseman, good vision, good hockey sense. It's a good pick, isn't it, Megan?
It's a no-brainer. He makes quick, decisive reads with the puck on his stick. He has the ability to create in transition with his skating or puck movement, and he uses skating to close gaps and put pressure on opponents. I love him. I love this pick. I think he's an elite defenseman. I think Columbus should be very happy.
I mean, size, reach, and that solid first pass, right? That's what we're looking for in defenseman in 2022.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the size. He's wiry. It seems to me like in the video that I saw, were just great reads. Like, I mean, he was able to step up in the neutral zone, pick off plays. You know, some people debated Jiricek whether he was better than Nemitz. I mean, I think both are right shot defensemen. You can't go wrong with either one.
Nemitz, who
You
was
mentioned
chosen
Columbus. I
already.
think they're in
Is he
desperate need
related to our
of
Nemitz?
No, it's not.
I think this is a solid pickup.
It's not Nemeth.
Would be there when they
Wasn't there a guy who was picked who was named Nemitz?
Yeah, but it's a different spelling.
I'm sure someone, again, to complement these young guys, both Chris that they got last year at the Jones Trade. And Rowensky is an elite #1 guy.
Absolutely, we love Zach Werenski. Elite indeed, no question about it. And Boquist has played really well there. I think for them, adding Jiricek, you get somebody that has elite anticipation when he's defending or when he's attacking. 50-50 pucks in the neutral zone, he's outstanding in making those reads.
Thank you, Montreal, for the fantastic week. And a special thank you to all the amazing fans here today who make this such a special event. We'd like to say hello to all of our fans back in Chicago, and specifically the Highland Park residents. Our hearts are with you. With the 7th overall pick, the Chicago Blackhawks are proud to select
Yeah,
from the
those
Seattle
poor Highland
Thunderbirds,
Park people, all they
Kevin
did was
Korchinski.
go to a July 4th parade, and this
Good
monster
Cowboys.
maniac comes out and shoots
6'2",
people.
185.
I've heard
Produced
about
the most
that.
points by any defenseman in the 2022 WHL playoffs. He had 19 points in 25 games. What does he do well, Megan Chaykin?
Yeah, and the WHL is having a big draft too, but he has a big variance in how scouts feel about him. One NHL scout noted to me he's highly skilled, not a lot can play like him and run a power play, which is very valued, but teams also worry about his defensive game. He has recognition and anticipation off the puck, and is often the first one to a loose puck. He stands up at the blue line and closes the gap. He's most like Shea Theodore.
Saskatoon, 6'2", 185.
Yeah, exactly. He really flourished in Seattle the whole season, as you said, out in the dub, playing there in the Pacific Northwest. But as I look at Shea Theodore, to your point, we see how he's evolved, right? You see how he's really taking his game to the next level from going from Anaheim to Vegas. And in the case of Korchinski, the patience to look off the forecheck, one-man breakout, the head fakes at the blue line, and some of that offensive elite skill that we saw in the postseason from both Cale Makar, of course, Devontae's, and somebody like Victor Hedman. So that goes a long way, Bush.
I think there's some, yeah, it does. And I think there's some defensemen in this draft that probably play like Korchinski offensively, but Korchinski is the guy that has the size. I mean, he's almost 6'3", you know, so he's got NHL size. What stands out to me is his poise. What looks like he's gonna, at times in the videos that I've seen, looks like he's gonna shoot. He's got an extra play in him, you know, and to have that type of poise and that ice water in your veins is hard to find. So, hard to find guys from the back end that can generate offense. They don't grow on trees, and if you find one that's available for you, then you may as well grab with their 2 stars after this.
Oh,
All
twice
season
that.
always is filled with surprises at a draft.
Oh,
Will they surprise
right.
folks here with an off-the-radar pick? Why is your
Detroit
plan?
selects from the SHL Rogala Center, Marco Kaspar.
So they get their center, Marco Kaspar. Tell us about him, Megan Jacob.
Yeah, his strengths include puck carrying and puck possession. He's a play driver with high stick-on puck possession time, and he's a strong decision maker. Reads plays well, makes smart decisions offensively and defensively, shows up well analytically in puck management as he limits turnovers and makes smart plays.
Again, Austrian, 6'1", 183. Obviously, the Red Wings, these centers, again, it's a young guy. I don't know how long it's going to take. I'm sure this long-term organization
Swedish.
like that, but you wonder if Stevie Y is going to
Oh, yeah, it's Austrian, okay.
look for a UFA or make a big deal. They still got to sign Dylan Larkin. You'll think that'll happen, I'm sure. But long-term, we'll see how, because again, Heisman's hit the park.
Yes, he has, and this is a 200-foot player. This is a guy that is very responsible. He's not afraid to go to the high traffic areas. High hockey IQ. I mean, I think maybe the one knock on him is there a ton of offense in him?
Yeah.
And maybe that's the one thing, but make no mistake.
7 goals,
this guy is
4
not gonna
assists
shy
in
away from
48
contact. He's not gonna
games.
shy away from the
46
hard areas.
games.
I think this is a
Only
really
10
solid pick.
points.
I know some people may have had some centers rated a little bit higher, but I know a lot of people had the Marco Kasper rated very high as well. It'll be interesting to see what he does next year. You know, if you're in Detroit, not afraid to keep guys in Sweden, right? He isn't
like it's bad.
His junior rights are with the Ottawa 67s, but I suspect that he will go back to Sweden, play professional hockey for another year, because he seems to be doing well over there.
Well, so I was just going to say quickly, our good buddy James Boyd, who's the GM of the Ottawa 67s, my former teammate there, and your son plays there, Boosh. Of course, they would love to get Kasper playing with them in the Ottawa 67s and maybe get him a little acclimated to playing the North American game. His dad played professionally 17 years, played in the East Coast League a little bit, the Florida Everblades as well. And in the case of Kasper, here's the thing. The Detroit Red Wings have had a long pipeline of Sweden and players that have played there. Of course, Lucas Raymond right now, also on the back end.
Edmondson.
Yeah, Edmondson, who's a stud last year, they got at 6. Not to be outdone, Megan, too. I love the fact that O'Sider played in Sweden, too.
Yeah.
And I think Steve Yzerman surprises people every year of, hey, you jump forward or back or pick people that we didn't really think, and they turn out.
Yeah.
So since 2019,
surprising pick a little bit.
I don't think so. I mean, I think this is well within the realms. Like you said, he's focused on player development, patient. I think he got his guy.
Yeah.
Awesome. Again, Austrian-born, talking about Marco Rossi, Andrei Burakovsky, Michael Grabner, Thomas Vanek. Steve Yzerman, the legend, always love to hear him talk hockey and why he took this fella. Emily?
Steve, what's the long-term projection for Marco Kasper?
Well, he probably could play all 3 forward positions, but we draft him as a centerman. We think he has underrated skill, and we think he has the ability to play in our top 6. One day, I can't tell you if it's next year or the year after, but we have high hopes and we're very excited to pick him.
Where do you view the Detroit Red Wings in your rebuild?
Well, it's my 3rd year as a GM, so I think we're in year 3 of the rebuild.
Okay. How active do you expect to be the rest of the summer?
Well, we got lots to do. I really can't predict. We got the rest of the draft here to go. We'll explore the trade market if we can, but ultimately look at free agency and see if we can improve our team that way. So we got some roster spots to fill, and we'll look at all avenues to try and do that.
What's the biggest priority now?
Preparing, I guess, for the second round. We'll get through the first round tonight and get ready for the remainder of the draft. I think we got 9 more picks, and we'll see what happens.
Thanks, Steve.
Okay, Emily, thank you.
Gucci?
They do have 9.
Buffalo Sabres are proud to select from Winnipeg in the Western Hockey League, Matthew Savoy.
Good call, Boosh. Why do you think Savoy?
Well, he's a skilled player. I mean, one of the best players in the Western Hockey League. He's fast, he's smart, he can shoot it. You think about what they got as their #1 center in Tage Thompson. The guy's the size of the Eiffel Tower. This guy is a little bit smaller, but boy, is he dynamic. His hockey sense is there, his quickness. And that, to me, is something that I think could complement, maybe their top center in Tage Thompson, maybe a guy that...
But is he also smaller than the Eiffel Tower?
To round out their top 6.
The
Yeah, I
Eiffel
agree with
Tower.
that. And an offensive wizard, and also playing the geek up there in Winnipeg for the ice. I liked his composure, and I really like the fact that he seems very self-assured for a young player. And for an offensive player, he's very assertive. Got a chance to see him during the Stanley Cup final. Been watching a lot of his clips, seeing his interviews, and from speaking to people in the dub, they just say on any game, in any possession, he can bust a game open. And now, with Jack Eichel being in Vegas now, by adding Savoy to the mix, I think this is a playmaker and somebody that could drive offense that could really complement their group going forward.
Yeah, and I think for a small player to make it in the NHL, you have to compete and have hardness in your game. And he has that ability. So although he's a bit undersized, he can be a difference maker.
I remember telling my boy who was a little undersized as a kid, you have to be, when you're small, you have to be tough.
I don't know.
You have to be cocky. Right? To make it, especially in the NHL. So there it is. Buffalo Sabre fans, need you back this year in the rink, all right? You're getting there. You're building brick by brick. Matt Savoy is the latest. Big night for Slovakia, as we mentioned. They go 1-2. Edmondson, Slavkovsky, the Flyers looking for the future with Cutter Gauthier. We'll talk with Matt Savoy next from Montreal.
In the NHL for years. Well, of course, it was a long time ago. Pavel Mintyukov.
6'1", 200 Russian defenseman shoots left. Yeah, listen, the Saginaw team was not very good, but this guy was lights out for them. Played in every situation, power play, penalty kill. What's interesting about this kid too is that the year that the OHL did not play, he came over from Russia, stayed in Saginaw to learn the language, to get acclimated. And, you know, to me, that shows a willingness to want to make it to the National Hockey League. And if there's any concern about Russians right now as to whether you pick them or not, Mintyukov is staying in the United States. He's in North America. So there's no concern about whether he will be here or not. He is here. This is a talented player. More size than Matejchuk, and I think maybe that's why in the end, Anaheim.
Bucks have selected one D-man in the first round of the last 6 drafts. Drysdale 6 overall in 2020.
He has great skating ability, which allows him to join the rush, improve skating too after a growth spurt, and he has movement in the offensive zone to improve shot quality.
And listen, the big thing for me, from speaking to a lot of people back in the O, is the fact that he competed on every shift, even knowing that they didn't have a good year. And the fact that he's able to put up the points, third in the OHL in points scored by defensemen, but competing as hard as he did, never playing to where they were in the standings, but relishing the matchups against.
Arizona Coyotes are proud to select from the Winnipeg Ice, Connor Geekie.
All right, Morgan's brother.
Oh, it is Morgan Geekie's brother.
That's a real rich flow.
Tell me about Connor Geekie, Megan Check.
I don't even know.
Well, obviously, I love Connor
A
Geekie.
current
He's a big
player.
body.
Current player
skating
where?
is maybe
With
something
the
that he has to
Kraken.
work on, but that was Morgan too. Offensively creative, setting up teammates for high quality scoring chances. According to an NHL scout, there's a lot of upside. He's big and skilled. As I said, skating may be one thing. They're also a baseball family. Big family in small town Manitoba. They actually had the key to the rink. They were there so often.
And Morgan was a 3rd round pick by the Hurricanes. Now plays for the Kraken. 6'3", 200-ish, big boy.
Big boy, and a lot of people are mentioning they see some similarities between the great jumbo Joe Thornton and Geekie. So when they talk about offense, they talk about the ability to have a long frame, string out defenders, make plays on the backhand, make them on the forehand. But here's something else. I love your point, Meg, about him and them having the key to the arena. They also, when the arenas were closed, were skating outside in Winnipeg with his brother.
Ice is thick.
Ice is thick in the air and under your feet. And that's a testament to the dedication that they have. So I think this is a great value pick for them here.
But it slots well behind Cooley, too, right?
Right, yeah, because Cooley's the dynamic, quick player. You know, Megan mentioned the skating, maybe a knock against Connor Geekie, but the one thing I love, and I think we're getting away from it in hockey, which, you know, it kind of makes me a little, you know, we could have a debate about it, is the physical play. The guy does not shy away from physical contact. I like that. I think you still need that in this game. I'm not saying you need somebody who forgets that there's a puck on the ice. You need somebody who's willing to engage in that side of the game.
But that was embarrassing. Pretty much sums up Anderson's career.
Western Hockey League moves to Warriors, Denton Matejchuk.
All right, Denton Matejchuk.
Yeah.
5'11", 180, another defenseman. So
Wow,
Columbus
they're
doubles
stacking
on
up.
the D-man.
Columbus is stacking up on
NHL
defense.
defenseman, 64 points in 65 games. With a
64 points in 65 games.
what's so good about this
My God.
He has poise at the puck and
Yeah.
creates when under pressure. His skating ability lets him create offense on the rush or join as a second wave. He has great vision and can drive offense by making critical passes to open defense and create chances. Everyone wants a defenseman like that.
We heard Gabe Landeskog saying it during the Cup final.
Yeah.
Everyone's looking for the next Cale Makar.
Yeah.
Now, this is not the next Cale Makar. I don't think any of them exist on planet Earth at 8 billion people. Not right now. But hey, listen, if you can get some shades of a Makar, if you can get some shades of a Noah Dobson on the island, some of those young, skilled defensemen that can transition pucks, that can act as an extra forward in the offensive zone, everybody loves playing with those types of players, Boosh.
Yeah, this guy's skill is off the charts from the people that I talk to, and his skating is well above NHL average.
Okay.
You know, his size is not as big as you know, some of the other D-men out there. Maybe that's why he slipped the
It's not
tag.
quite a shrub, but not a tree.
You're right, not a shrub, but not a tree. So what's that? I'm not sure what that is. Alberta spruce, perhaps. You know, come on, nice to play.
Just don't let make them talk about sports.
Make no mistake, this kid is a talented kid, and he's also a leader. For, you know, his character checks out. So this is, as we said earlier, Columbus coming in.
Yeah.
The last time they picked a defenseman in the top 2 rounds was back in 2016. Now they filled the need with 2 defensemen that they picked here in the first round. So good job by Jarmo Kekalainen and his staff to get another talented kid.
For sure, 6 and 12. Now they wait until tomorrow, the 44th overall pick, 3rd, 4th, and then 7th. So the Columbus Blue Jackets, and again, they wanted Ryan McDonough. Jarmo will always be aggressive. Not sure what else they have up their sleeve for the rest of this off season. Up next again, well, Chicago Blackhawks. The Islanders trade out of this.
Wait, it was an Islanders draft pick, but they traded it. So, are the Islanders gonna pick in the first round ever, or was that the only pick they got? Now I'm wondering about that. Like, if that was their only first round pick, and if they end up having no first round pick, I'm gonna laugh. Because they have no first round draft
But
pick.
if they traded it, they must have wanted what they got.
Or Alex Romanov, but still, they weren't doing so well, and they needed a first round pick. And to get rid of it, people would look and be like, what the hell are you doing?
He's always loved the team.
The Chicago Blackhawks are proud to select for the United States National Development Team, Frank Mazur.
Oh, Nazer.
So there's the Blackhawks. Good to see Rob Facca there. Louis, shout out to Louis. No bad days. But what about this player, Brian Boucher, as the Blackhawks once again? We're excited too up here. We're deep high in the lower bowl.
Yeah, this kid's got crazy speed. If you watch him play, it's almost like he gets like 2 breakaways a game. I mean, I don't know if it's his actual speed or his anticipation. He's always getting breaks. He's a fast player. He's got great hands. The one thing about him, though, he'd rather score than pass. This guy is a shooter. Make no mistake, he is an absolute shooter. He's explosive. So you're getting a guy that, you know, I think, you know, when they traded a center like Kirby Doc, right, you got to fill the center position somehow. And Nazar's, look at this, another breakaway, great finish. A nice pickup for the Chicago Blackhawks. I mean, I think the U.S. national program, they have the potential coming into tonight to have 5 or 6 first-rounders.
Yeah.
This is the 3rd one to go off the board. A talented 04 birth year for the U.S. program. I think a nice pickup for the Blackhawks.
And the Michigan Wolverine, we know they did last year. Detroit, Michigan native.
Yeah, Detroit, Michigan native, played his minor hockey for Little Caesars and
How many
Honey
more
Baked.
picks
And
are
one of those
left? What
players
number
that's,
are we up
you
to?
know,
Number 14 is next.
A double threat
So
that
we're
way
about-
offensively.
Close to the halfway point.
Yeah,
Show, but
yeah.
in watching clips of him and speaking to people, is when he comes at you offensively, he can freeze goalies because you don't know if he's going to beat you with the shot or the D.
Yeah, and he was number 7 on my list, so I think this is an absolute steal for Chicago. In the U18 tournament, he had the lowest average shot distance with players over 10 shot attempts. And his coach also adds that he thinks the game well, which shows up in his analytics as he moves the puck in high danger areas in the offensive zone.
Oh my god, that pick that the Islanders traded was their only first overall pick. So, first round pick. So the Islanders are not going to choose in the first round.
What pick did they have?
Number 13. And they traded for Romanov. And now they have no first round picks. Oh my god. First the Devils become idiots, and now the Islanders. Oh, we definitely are not doing anything in this round, but by God, this is the greatest show on earth. It's so broken.
Oh my God, Justin. They must have wanted those. They must have felt like they got a worthwhile thing.
Yeah, but Romanov is a third-pairing defenseman, and the Islanders sucked, and they needed more good players, and it's hard to do it with no first-round picks. And I know they're going to be looking at us and be like, shut up, you don't have a first-round pick as well. But at this point, we don't need one, because we made it to the conference final. The perfect, I don't think it's going to happen, but a perfect icing on the cake is if someone with a first-round pick trades a first-round pick to the Rangers. I don't think it's gonna happen, but it would be a perfect ending if it was.
I was asking for some food tips maybe a little earlier, but no, I'm so excited just to be able to go through the organization, and they've had so much.
And with the 14th pick, the Winnipeg Jets are proud to select from the U.S. National Development Program, Rutger McGurty.
Good hockey name, nice vest. Lincoln, Nebraska. Let's go. Michigan Wolverine. Let's go. He's a bit of a tougher
hockey name.
Yeah, he does. He hits hard. He competes. This kid was the leader of the national development team program. 18 team this year. Make no mistake, all the talented kids they had on their team, this was their guy that they gravitated to. A tremendous personality, great compete on him, really high-end compete, and he's got a nose for the net. If you watch his highlights, this guy's always around the net. And yeah, look, he can one-time the puck, and that's great, but if you watch where he goes, he's always around it, and that's what you want. If you want to score goals, make sure you're inside the house. That's where he was a lot of the year. He scored a lot of goals. He's on his way to Michigan, and the one thing about him too, his dad was part of the Lincoln Stars organization when he was a kid, so he had access to ice when he was a little guy, and then realized that there wasn't enough ice in Nebraska, had to move to Michigan. So his family
there wasn't enough
right?
ice in Nebraska.
His mom and sister stayed home. Those are the sacrifices these families make for their kids to make it, and I'm sure he's thrilled to be picked in the first round.
Looks like we can get a small business loan from him as well. He comes on in that suit. So back-to-back Wolverines, Megan. We saw that last year, 1-2, but now we see a little bit later this year at 13-14.
Yeah, and he's a high involvement player engaged in all three zones. He's consistently in the scoring area, always looking to get the puck to the slot, both carrying or passing. And his coach, Adam Nightingale, notes that character and finding open ice is something that could translate for him at an NHL level. I don't know if you mentioned that his dad is a GM in the USHL as well. But
I said he was with the idea. He was coaching GM, but
he's GM.
Yeah. He's the 7th Nebraska-born player selected. Of course, Jake Gensel, one of those. Again, on his way to Michigan for the 22-23 season. He goes big body forecheck cycle guys, right? Again, a playoff kind of player.
Leader.
Yep.
As it was explained to me, space creator. There's a look at his mom, and you have to think of that sacrifice boost that you just mentioned. That's paramount in an instance like this, and in an amazing life experience for the family. Creates a lot of separation. NHL ready shot right now, today, and he can score in different ways. And here's the big part.
That's Rick Bowness.
As you said.
I think he might be in the new.
The Vancouver Canucks are proud to select from Sweden, the SHL, Jonathan Lekkerimäki.
What did he just
right
say?
winger, little fella.
Jonathan Lekkerimäki.
Scored goals and smooth hands. Scored a variety of ways.
fires rockets.
Yeah.
Fires rockets, the Kirimaki. And what I like about this too is you're getting the right-hand shot, which I think is important. And again, as I mentioned with Detroit, you have to also follow the trends, right? You're getting somebody that played in Sweden as well. And they've had a real good history of Swedish players in Vancouver. From Naslund to Oland to the Sedin twins, I can go on and on. Just continues this trend, and Elias Pettersson most recently as well.
Well, and I had him as, a Steve Yzerman type of pick.
Right.
So I think this is a great one for the Vancouver Canucks. He's a shot-first player, always dangerous in the O-zone. Really fun to watch highlights of his goal-scoring ability. As he's a dangerous shooter with a great release on zone entry, looks to carry the puck into the zone with speed.
Yeah, in his second half of the season, when he got called up to the pro team, pretty good numbers. I mean, he scored 7 goals playing for the top team there in Djurgården. So that's pretty impressive for a young kid. In that Djurgården program, they've got potentially 3 first-rounders on their team. Lekkerimäki, Liam Ogren, and Noah Ostlund. I think of the 3 guys that could be picked from their program. So this is a guy that can shoot the puck. Some question if he relies too much on the perimeter part of the game. That'll have to be something that he's going to have to make sure he gets inside, but there's no doubt that he possesses an NHL shot.
Yeah, he was a star at the U18 World Championships. Sweden won the gold medal. He led all players with 10 assists and 14 points in the 6 games. So he was a productive player. So the Vancouver Canucks adding more skill up front. There's Bruce Boudreau, of course, who came on the scene and really helped turn them around last year, and they'll try to continue it this year. The 2022 NHL Draft from Montreal
Bruce
continues
Boudreau.
here at ESPN. Buffalo, you're on the clock. A dream come true for the players and really the parents who've watched their young boys grow up into young men and now professional hockey players.
With the 16th pick, the Buffalo Sabres are proud to select from Djurgården in the Swedish Hockey League, Noah Ostlund.
All right, Boucher was talking about him, Megan, another Swede. So, the Swedes they're seeing Finland starting to get a lot of shine these days, but now we get another Swede here.
And he's a silky player, a great puck transporter who uses change of pass to keep defenders off balance. He led all forwards in the IHF under 18 with possession time per game at 233. He has good vision, finding passing lanes, and was also second in shot assists, meaning he's setting up people 4 shots on net and led all forwards and completed cross-ice passes in the offensive zone. Hard passes to make. He has puck management skills, limits turnovers, and makes smart plays. Who wouldn't want him?
It looks like he's 13. So I assume he's got some growing to do, Bush.
Yeah, he probably does, but he's a pass-first guy. And if you think about the U18 Worlds, the United States team was heavily favored, but Noah Ostlund and Liam Ogren, I mean, these guys really carried their team. They were dynamic to watch together. They carried the offense, and a big reason why the Swedes upset the United States in that tournament. But he's got an accurate shot, but it's not he's a pass-first guy. Good hands. He's smooth. Good pickup for the Sabres. I felt like they needed centers, and they certainly have addressed it here tonight with Savoy and now Noah Ostlund.
Playmaker. And speed.
Playmaker.
Make those passes anywhere in the offensive zone. Short pass, forehand, backhand, the diagonal pass. I love your point, using the width of the rink, Meg, to your point, going for those kind of cross-ice and seam passes, keeping defenders off balance. A lot of the Sabres fans are probably watching this right now. Lenova back in Buffalo, tuned in, getting some Lenova pizza and wings, and why wouldn't they? But I like these type of intelligent players. He's a consummate Swedish player. He's an intelligent player that they can add to a group that has a lot of high hockey IQ right now.
And they seem to be really accumulating high-end offensive players on the Buffalo Sabres.
No doubt.
They were really strong last year in Rochester, and this looks like another one. They can be, when you have that many, right, you can be patient with them too. And game of the year is? Well, we're going to find out right now.
Long-time general manager and NHL executive Jim Gregory was perhaps one of the most beloved figures.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
In his memory, the General Manager of the Year award is named. To present the Jim Gregory NHL GM of the Year is longtime Montreal Canadian, both as a player and the general manager, and a member of the Hockey Hall of Fame, Serge Savard.
Oh boy, this is the moment we've all been waiting for.
Yeah. So it's Sakic, Drury,
And Brisebois.
Bonsoir, bonsoir tout le monde. Vous savez, la dernière fois que le commissaire a été applaudi ici à Montréal, c'est lorsqu'il nous a présenté la Coupe Stanley en 1993. Alors, c'est un grand honneur pour moi d'être ici ce soir pour vous présenter le trophée Jim Gregory qui est décerné au gérant général de l'année dans la Ligue nationale de hockey. It is a great pleasure, it's an honor for me to be here tonight to give the to honor the general manager of the year in the National Hockey League. This is a Jim Gregory trophy. When I think of Jim Gregory, I think of a hard-working guy. I think of honesty and integrity. Here's the 3 finalists.
From the Tampa Bay Lightning, Julian Brisebois. They were up against the salary cap, but they rebuilt. Julian Brisebois deserves a lot of credit. The Lightning advance to the Stanley Cup Final for the 3rd straight season, hoping to be crowned.
Oh, he's the Lightning GM?
Yeah.
New York Rangers, Chris Drury. Congratulations.
Come on, Chris.
First full season as Rangers GM.
From the Colorado Avalanche, Joe Sakic.
This is a team that had a clear purpose. Joe Sakic, what a job he's done as general manager.
I bet they give it to Sakic.
I have a bad feeling it is. I wish it was Drury, but I have a feeling it was Sakic. As I mentioned, whoever wins the cup decides it.
Wow. Le gagnant, the winner is the great Joe Sakic.
Yep. I knew it. I knew he was going to win. I knew that whoever would win the cup would automatically win the award.
Is he there? Oh,
Yep. And that's what made this race hard and difficult. The fact we were against both teams that made the finals. And it would come down to the whoever wins the cup. I bet if we were in the final too, if we had won the cup, we would have won it.
Merci beaucoup. À vous les partisans. And it's a huge honor, the Jim Gregory Award. Truly grateful for this. I want to thank all the fellow general managers for this. It's just a pleasure being in the fraternity, and really proud of this award. I tell you what, I couldn't have done it. Obviously, this usually goes to winning teams, and I can't thank our coaching staff led by Jared Bednar. All of our players, I got to tell you, it was a pleasure watching them. I
didn't fully look.
Day in, day out this year. Show that commitment to one another and persevere and find a way to win the Stanley Cup. So we wouldn't be here without those guys. My staff, Chris McFarland, you're a huge part of this. Big help. All of our scouts are pros, are amateurs. Everybody in the office, this award's really for you. It's an organizational award. I also want to thank ownership, Stan and Josh Kroenke. They're giving us that opportunity, sticking with us, and believing in the process. I want to thank them. And most of all, my family. My wife Deb, I love her so much. Being there, supporting me and my kids, my 3 kids, Mitchell, Chase, and Cameron. Couldn't have done this without you. So thanks again,
And to all the young players here, congratulations and best of luck.
With our first choice, Nashville Predators select from JYP in Finland, Joakim Kemmel.
Joakim Kemmel.
Tell me about the Finn, Megan.
Obviously, I love that. It's my highest rank right now. So for a smaller size, he has high compete level and engages physically. High quality shot, quick and deceptive release to beat goalies, which is important in the NHL. Effectively uses one-timers as well. And at the U18 tournament, he was 5th in shot attempts per game at 9.2 and 3rd in goals per game. Based on the data, he's comparable to David Pastrnak.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, he did well. He finished the league at a young age, too. He was there at 17, and he had the youngest player to score a goal there in each of his first 2 career games. Led all Finnish league rookies with 15 goals this past season.
Has a great release. Draws penalties. I love the ability to really hide the release on goalies and freeze them for that split second and can beat you in a variety of ways with different shots. From speaking to different people during the Stanley Cup final from Finland, they raved about his ability, to your point, to not only score those goals in playing in the league up there, but also look very comfortable in doing so. That's a huge compliment right there.
That last highlight that we just saw of him, net front, reminded me of Victor Arvidsson, right? The ex-Nashville Predator, who had some good years there with the Preds. Not overly big, probably his only knock, but as you said, Weeksy, his shot is what stands out. That's his calling card. So it's a guy that I think we've been talking about him as we've gone to break a couple of times. Jimmy, late night with Jimmy with Joakim Kemmel. Not so late now as he goes. He's off the board, but a guy that we thought would have gone a little bit before this. So for Nashville, I'm sure they're thrilled to get him.
And I like your comp to Arvidsson. Because Arvidsson scored 30 there in Nashville twice. We know he's gone on a plane.
It looks like him too.
He does.
Same haircut.
Yeah, he totally does. I see what you're saying.
Looks like
I get it. I totally see it.
I don't know.
Oh, of course, the Preds eliminated by Joe Sakic, and the Avalanche just announced the Gem of the Year. He's with Emily Cow.
Joe, what was the biggest thing you learned about team building this year?
Just it's a team effort, really. We had such a great staff, and I give players and coaching staff. When you talk team, I mean our group from day one, they became a team, and they were a team that had the same goal in mind. Didn't let anything affect them, and they just believed in each other and had that commitment, and it was really impressive to watch them.
You traded for goalie Alexander Georgiev today. What's your plan?
Georgiev.
Him and Kyle Francis will be our 1-2. So we just felt, cap-wise.
I think they said I think they said they're planning to have Georgiev as the #1 goalie.
Yeah, and Francois, or whatever
Francois. Wow, so it is official. For the first time in his career, Georgiev is going to be the main goalie.
Good for him.
Congratulations. It's a shame that he's not a Ranger anymore, but at least he's moving on to the next chapter in his career. Something he worked hard towards, something he wanted, and he's got it.
Yeah.
Now the only thing left to see is how he does as the main goalie.
Right, and he must feel good not only to get
to play for a very good team.
Not only to get #1, but to get the #1 goalie pick choice for the Stanley Cup champions.
Yeah.
I mean, that shows
but
they have a lot of faith in him.
But like I said, Georgiev is still young and he has time to develop and all that. And he wanted more playing time. And he nearly took the #1 spot until Shesterkin came along. And now he's finally made it. Everything he wanted, he got it. Thanks to Colorado. Joe Sakic moves like this is the main reason why you've won the Jim Gregory Award.
So they trade Kemper, which again, like he said, very practical, very honest. Yeah. Salary cap. Can't fit him in.
So yeah, Darcy Kemper is definitely gone.
The job he did. Taves trade really brought them to another level. The juice came bursting out this year.
It's yet to be determined in free agency.
It was the absolute home run pick as well. And it just continues to, he got McKinnon a very good cap number a couple of years ago, which enabled him to bring people on this year, because that's going to change as he bursts up to the
I have a fefeeling that Georgiev might get paid a massive contract. Yeah, he's a main goalie, possibly definitely the goalie of the future.
All class, all the time, all collaborative and collective, as you can see in what he had to say. And I love the way he handled that with Darcy Kemper, because they acquired Darcy Kemper, he came and ultimately got the job done. They did not have to then go down the road of acquiring another goalie as a result of how well he played down the stretch. And he had the wherewithal to wish him well as he goes forward. He appreciates what he helped do for the club, but a great opportunity for Kemper going forward.
Yeah, I mean, no ego, Joe Sakic, so much integrity. Yes. He really has such a touch of class to him.
Yeah, Joe Sakic is great. He is the face of Colorado for a reason. And his list of achievements and accomplishments just continues to grow. Like eventually they're gonna have a statue of him in Colorado. It's like all his homes in Colorado will become memorial places and museums after he dies.
The Dallas Stars are pleased to select from Lexington, Liam Bixel.
Bush, you're having a good night, man. You're picking them. You're nailing them. You don't see me writing it down as they get picked. That's what I'm saying. Okay. No, this is a big guy. 6'5". Woo. I mean, you just can't teach size, and he skates well for his size. I mean, that's the one thing that, when you have a big guy at 18 years old, typically they're clumsy, right? Got to grow into their body, but boy, he's pretty. He can skate for a big guy. Swiss kid who's playing in Sweden, so leaves home. To me, that's always something, like, from a character standpoint, when a kid is willing to leave his home country to go to another place to develop. I like that in a kid. That tells me the kid wants to play and he wants to win. So this is a good pickup for Dallas. You think Klingberg won't be back in Dallas, right? So they're building on the back end. I think this is a good pickup.
And we've seen a lot of Swiss defensemen led, of course, by Roman Josi, who almost had 100 points this year. And we can go all the way back to Mark Streit. So many of them we can mention, Yannick Weber over the years, but this is a big, powerful man that plays a matchup game.
80-inch wingspan.
Totally.
Shout out Jay Billis.
Absolutely.
Sit back some Angels envy.
Exactly. And played exceptionally well. Look at the reaction from the family.
It's awesome.
But I really like the fact, your point, that he went and played Sweden, played exceptionally well in that league, and it's a very hard to play against big defensemen, Meg. And we know how critical they are to any team's success.
Yeah, and he's physically dominating. And I actually work a lot internationally, so I called up my Swiss.
There's Peter DeBoer.
And they said he's wise beyond his years. He takes care of his nutrition.
He's the new coach for the Dallas Stars.
And his favorite thing to cook is risotto. So he says it's patience. He's, a 25-year-old in like an 18-year-old's body. He's the kind of guy that can walk onto a team and be in North America and truly make a difference. And he looks to carry the puck up the ice. So big body, great player, very mature.
What I liked about that, closes on guys, right? And that to me is what stands out. And you're telling me that risotto is good for you?
Yes.
I don't even know what result.
And with our first pick, we'd like to pick from your garden, Liam Ogren.
You're allowed to do that, Billy. He's eligible. Here come the Swedes, making it on a run.
Here come the Swedes.
I'm at 17, so I think this is a great pick too. High controlled entry rate and attacks the line with speed. He has zone entry success with excellent decision making with his next pass. He plays a puck possession style, holds on to the puck, and allows the plays to develop. Pretty rare in a player his age. He doesn't force plays and limits giveaways.
I love all the points you made, and something that's really impressive to me is to compliment your point, how well he defends. And that's something that stood out to me as a player that you're getting at 17, as a two-way offensive forward, but the ability to defend for a young kid isn't always necessarily there, right? Players always want to showcase their offensive skill set, their talent, ability, that shows a lot to me about the well-roundedness of this player.
Yeah, and the thing that stands out too is shot. You talk about his defense, and that's great that he's already got that in his game, but can he score? He can score. He's got a great shot. He didn't do it at the pro level at your garden so far this year, but at the junior level, he was very, very productive. And as I mentioned before, he and Noah Ostlund during the U18s, I mean, they really were big players as to why they beat the United States. So I'm sure that that sat well with a lot of scouts. When you look at that U.S. team, they were favored to win, yet the Swedes came away as winners. So Djurgården doing a good job of developing some NHL players this year as he's the third one to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, explosive skater. You can tell he's a strong kid.
Yeah.
As he makes his way across the stage.
NHL ready, free.
Yeah, balance,
Oh, yeah.
acceleration.
Right.
He certainly looks like he's got that. And really a good night for Europe. They're on a run right now. The Swedes are on a run. We saw Slovakia 1-2. The Finns a couple. Now Sweden was starting to get some picks as well.
And one note, and Switzerland having one as well. One note, Meg, we were talking about this off camera, is the fact that no Russian-born and Russian-playing players have been selected so far. Look at a guy like Miroshnichenko.
Washington Capitals select from Omsk, Russia, Ivan Miroshnichenko.
Well, there you go. They figure they got a guy that maybe can get a player over here. They got someone named Alex Ovechkin that might have some, power. What's this player like, Megan Chaika?
I think he's the most talented player in this draft class.
What?
Yes, yes. He is, the most widely projected prospect, and definitely a dark horse. And part of that was he had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and missed a lot of this season. So we don't have a lot of data on him, but he excels in driving to the net in the offensive zone, carries the puck to scoring areas, and his goal-scoring ability, puck recoveries, plays an aggressive style, causing turnovers. And he doesn't need many quality shots. He capitalizes, he scores. You want this player on your team? I will say now, I think he'll be a superstar in the NHL in 5 years.
Love it.
This is a steal for Washington Capitals right here. Okay. It really is a testament to the young man. As you can tell, you see he's got the buzz cut, having gone through the non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and working towards a full, complete recovery. I've spoken to a lot of people over in Russia. A good buddy of mine, Dave Nemirovsky, that coaches in the KHL, an outstanding young coach, always has had great things to say about him the last 2 years. This guy, I think the Washington Capitals have got an absolute steal. Meg, I'm with you on this. This is a great pick by them.
You wonder when a kid goes through what he went through, the adversity of getting sick like that, what it does for somebody in their passion and their love for the game. And when they get through that, I mean, you're going to find a real focused, dialed-in player. I mean, you almost get a new lease on life and a new appreciation for the game. Obviously, the Capitals must feel very confident about the whole situation, not only health-wise, but also we see that you mentioned about getting the Russian players over here. Obviously, with the big one, the grade 8, they probably feel very good about getting him over here, and he could be a great mentor for this kid.
Bonsoir, Montréal. But he's still a player. Why is he up there with management?
Because why not? And I think he might be a citizen of Montreal or Canada.
Oh, maybe that's why.
Pecorin, yeah.
So the defenseman announces the defenseman.
Yeah, and also because they chose a defenseman.
178, Manitoba, birthplace. Good night for the province. Tell me more about Bowden, Megan Chaika.
Well, he shows composure with the puck on his stick and high success rates when under pressure. His puck carrying and skating allows him to be involved in controlled zone exits to zone entries. He's going end-to-end. From the blue line, he can create space and avoid the initial shot blocker. We have him the most as Travis Sanheim, and he was actually drafted in the same spot as him.
Whoa!
And his hidden talent is he plays the violin.
Latane has been.
The violin.
Whoa, the contract that Latane got extended to was 6 years.
And Chris Latane is old, right?
Yeah, 6 years for a 35-year-old. Like, he's gonna be 41 at the end of this contract. That is a little that is a bit steeper than Penguin fans have hoped.
4 years down the road, I think this is the perfect
Like,
You can never tell
4 or 5 years and help
if somebody's going to be completely washed up before 41, or they could still be okay.
Yeah, but still, I get Letang is the best defender in Penguins history, and I get he's part of the main core, and they wanted him to stay, but 6 years? That is a bit too much.
Like you mentioned, be it him, be it Samuelson. I mean, we can go in any
to
area. They've always, when they've been at their best, they've had a long range of defenseman that's mobile.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but he might retire before it.
Well, then they won't have to pay him the last 2 years.
We talk about Owen Pickering. What a
But they. I don't know.
If he retires of his own free will, then they don't have to
and so
pay
many
him.
available. So
Whatever
this is,
years are
really
left.
like the selection for the Penguins.
So Dave Donjar, Mike Sullivan there, of course, the head coach. He stands next to Ron Hextall. And again,
Yeah, but that is literally too much.
Yeah, right. I mean, hard to skate nowadays.
It's like if someone gives that contract to Zdeno Chara or Joe Thornton.
Not an easy thing to do. You're right. That coordination, that footwork, the agility.
I mean, we had Mark Messier, he was more than 41.
Growing into that size.
But we didn't sign him to a 6-year contract near that.
I don't know what his contract was when he was playing back
This is, again, as you...
Guessing they're gonna choose a defenseman.
Ducks are proud to select Nathan Gauthier from the Quebec Hockey League.
Tell me about him.
Nathan Gauthier. Oh, I guess McTavish is a center.
The CHL scout notes that he has the best chance coming out of the queue.
Wow.
Big guy and good skating, who passes that up, comes from a hockey family, dad's a scout, brother also played. He's defensively responsible, plays a 200-foot game, and scored over 30 goals this year. Most comparable to a player like Bo Horvat.
6'3", 207, so again, you talk about a big 18-year-old right now.
Well, you're getting size and skill, and when you play for Patrick Waugh, you can't play on the outside.
Yeah.
Patrick Waugh, the great Patrick Waugh, has done an amazing job of developing
Patrick Waugh is
players
what?
with his Quebec
GM of,
Absolutely.
I
He's
don't
done
know.
an awesome
I missed
job.
it.
Radulov. There's so many guys that have come through Quebec. Too many I could mention. Of course, Kucherov, I can go on and on. But in Gauthier, you get a guy that's big, powerful. This is
Oh, I think they're just talking about history of great players from Quebec.
Just down the highway from where he plays, Quebec City, now here in Montreal. But size, power, skill, physicality, can go nose to nose with anybody. And by the way, will look really nice up front with Mason McTavish with the Ducks.
Yeah, Mason McTavish plays an abrasive game too, right? You can play that
So did Patrick B,
hard in your face.
Yeah.
This guy, it's big time pro potential type game in him. He's 6'3". He's already well over 200 pounds. So this is not something that's going to shy away from that type of game. And I just think we've said it before. I like the guy that isn't afraid of that. You need these type of players come playoff time. This is a guy that some teams have rated a little bit higher too. Yeah. So the fact that he slipped to 22 is a good pick. And McTavish, as you mentioned, there might be a nice little 1-2 punch between those two.
I mean, again, you see how these teams are built. You need a Nick Paul, you need a JT Kaufman.
Totally.
I mean, if he's a
role player.
Absolutely.
He's probably a third line center.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Great.
But you think of today's game, everybody, top 6, bottom 6. It's really more like I'm top 9. Like, it's really top 9.
Really top 9.
Yes, and that's where he is. I think he's probably a third line center, and that's okay. If you're playing on a deep team that's very good, you can be an important piece to your club.
Strong in his
What?
23rd selection, the St. Louis Blues are pleased to select.
Yeah, you definitely added more time.
All right, well, another Golden Gopher. It's not the one we thought. Instead, it's Jimmy Snuggerud, Minneapolis, Minnesota kid, Boosh, heading to Minneapolis to play for the Gophers and Bob Motzko this fall.
Yeah, and you think about his dad.
But what did I
his
add?
father
I
played
added an hour?
265 NHL games.
But it's like running longer than what they said it was.
Well, yeah, because it's draft.
Some lineage in him. The guy
Yeah,
makes
I
the right
wasn't sure
play. Is
if that
what I've
would
been
be something that
told.
would run more.
He's
That's
got a
why I
cannon of a
added
shot,
more time.
and he's always in the right
So
spot.
how much
He's
time
got
do we
pretty
have
good hands.
left
He played
on
a line.
on my recording?
Less than an hour.
With Gauthier and Cooley at the U.S. National Program. So
Not a big deal.
He has support.
At this point, it's too late to add extra time now.
Yeah.
You'd say, well, he probably had success because of playing with 2 really good players, but I think this guy's
What time
a
did
pretty
this
good
thing
player in his
start?
own right. When you
7.
players, you got to go to the right spots in order get success. He's had some success, and now he gets to get picked in the first round.
Yeah, when you have that uncanny ability to get to the spots, to be in position to score, that's something that you can't necessarily teach. A lot of that is innate, and having that sixth sense offensively the way he does. And then once you get there and you do get the puck, the ability to beat goalies in different spots. He doesn't always go low blocker. He doesn't always go high glove. He has the ability to mix and match his shot placement, which is a real good sign for a young offensive player.
Also, Nightingale adds that he has a great stick defensively. So he's not just an offensive threat. He's disruptive in passing lanes with an active stick. And he's most comparable to Zach Hyman, who I just absolutely love as a player.
Hyman, Brandon Saad, right? That kind of guy. And obviously Saad's already on the team, but they have a lot of skill with Cairo and Thomas. It's nice to compliment if they see this guy again heading to Minnesota to play for the Gophers this fall. And he'll be an absolute wagon this year. Certainly a national title threat. And so the Blues and Doug Armstrong, we've heard Torrey Krug could be on the block if someone shows interest in him, if it makes sense along those lines. We'll see what else Doug Armstrong. He's aggressive, not afraid, and the Blues still should come back as a good power next year in the West.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting? When you watch these drafts, even veteran players and veteran people in business, you got a text from Coop earlier.
Yeah.
John Cooper, your Hall of Fame coach for sure. Lock, I should say. Yandel's tuning in to watch, so Yans, thanks for tuning in. It's interesting that on these days where you have these young players having their moment, how many other people in the business, even though it's summertime,
With the 24th selection, the Minnesota Wild are proud to select from Magnitogorsk, the KHL, Danila Yurov.
Oh, well again, they have a high-end Russian player.
Yeah.
And whether or not that matters in this situation or any situation, we don't know. But tell us about this player. Hey.
He's a great player. I'm actually surprised he's still available, so they must be over the moon. He plays a puck possession style. He wants to carry the puck and create chances. He plays a high pace and can execute at full speed exactly what you want in the modern NHL.
Right.
The quality entry player and high controlled entry rate who attacks the middle of the ice. Talented. That's every time I called any scout, that's the first thing they would say. So surprised he's there. Great pickup. We'll love to see what he does in the NHL.
Electricity crossing the blue line.
Yeah.
That's what one person explained it to me. Look at this. I mean, that's a 1-on-3.
Yep.
You know, and he'll scare the living daylights out of you when he has that puck coming in. So, yeah, I mean, probably teams were scared off right now. And it's understandable.
Only reason.
Yeah, it's understandable as to why they would be. But for Billy Guerin and his crew, probably figuring, with having Kirill Kaprizov there, this is much like the Washington Capitals, they figured, it's a comfortable situation. Once he gets over here, it'd be a nice transition for him, but this is a really talented player.
Talented player. He really shredded up the Tier 2, really, the junior version over in the KHL, but once playing with men, he played in a lot of games. He asserted himself well.
40 of them.
He wasn't exactly, which is very, very rare.
It's like a trade here. I think this is a Peter Mrazek, maybe involved trade with Toronto and Chicago. Let's hear it from the commish.
We have a trade to announce. The Toronto Maple Leafs trade Peter
Mrazek.
pick number 25, which will be the next pick.
To the Blackhawks.
To the Chicago Blackhawks for pick number 38 in this year's draft. So Toronto trades Mrazek and pick 25 to the Blackhawks for pick 38.
So Toronto obviously trying to create cap room. They give up their number one, Peter Mrazek, heads to Chicago. They'll absorb his
Well,
salary.
no, Mrazek's not number one. He's number 2.
Trade everybody, but they get another pick in the first round. Did you get anything on this week, Steve?
Yeah, a couple things. Number one for Peter Mrazek, hope he's healthy because his sample size in his NHL career, he's been a 9-10 save percentage guy.
Yeah.
Really besieged by injury last year. Hoping that he's healthy and can have a bounce back here there in Chicago. For the Leafs to get that much needed cap release in terms of moving him. Now the question is, Marc-Andre Fleury is signed.
Right.
Now what do the Toronto Maple Leafs do in net? 2 teams for me, Edmonton, Bush, and Toronto, as contenders that beat tenders, ironically enough.
And how many goalies are out there, really?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Like seriously,
Yes,
I'm with you. The idea that there's enough starting goaltenders out there, real quality starting goaltenders, You know, it feels like we're at a point in the NHL where the ability of the scorers is surpassed the goaltenders right now. And I don't remember a time like this in a long time. I feel like we always had a lot of good goaltenders, and goals were down. Now I almost feel like there's almost a need for, you know, higher quality goaltenders. You know, aside from maybe 2-3 guys that you can count on one hand, Shesterkin, Vasilevsky,
Hellebuck.
Maybe Ottinger's
in that
developing
area.
that, but man, it's like those teams are searching for goaltenders, and I just wonder if they're really out there where they're going to be satisfied with what they've got going in the next season.
That's exactly why you have to be bullish and go out and get who you want. And when you leave it to chance, and once that goalie go-round starts spinning, which is exactly what happened, now you leave it to chance, now you're kind of on the outside looking in based on supply, and there's a whole ton of demand. So I'm curious to see what Edmonton do. I'm curious to see what the Toronto Maple Leafs do.
Chicago Blackhawks are proud to select from Chaska High School, Minnesota, Sam Brinzel.
Whoa! Shout out Chaska. Shout out Minnesota. Shout out Minnesota Golf.
Nice.
What do you got on him, Bush?
Yeah, he's a big guy who decided to stay in high school in Minnesota, but also played at the end of the year with Waterloo. And he's a big kid, 6'4", almost 6'5". Skates well for his size, good reach, can create off the rush. You know, you always wonder, you know, the kids that want to stay home and play high school. You know, I talked about the other guys that want to leave and go to other countries. You know, you got to almost respect when a kid says, you know, I want to stay home, I want to finish up high school, I want to have that experience, because what it tells me is that they're loyal kids, right? They want to see to the end what they started. But this is a kid that has size, and I think a lot of people had rated later. But I think a lot of people saw that there was some potential in the fact that he didn't play a full season in Tier 2 junior. Maybe you don't get a full idea of what he is, but this is a guy that I think has pro potential for sure.
Yeah, and I think it's a bit of a reach, but he did register 1.4 points per game to lead defenseman. And, you know, he pushes the puck in transition, passing, skating, allows his team to attack off the rush, excels in puck carrying. So all these elements that you look for in a hockey player, but I had him like 43. So to pick him this early, they must have saw something that maybe I didn't get enough Minnesota high school tape to find out. But
Maybe caddied at Hazeltine maybe in the summer for some extra coin there.
There you go. And you also mentioned the fact, Bush, that there's a great look at parents, we presume, up there with the beaming with pride, as they should. And I just kind of echo that. A right-handed shot defenseman, and it's one thing to play really well in Minnesota high school hockey, which is very competitive, I might add. But then the fact that you mentioned going to Waterloo, and then the whole USHL angle, the agility, size, reach, the frame. This is a reach, this is a real aggressive pick, but nonetheless, maybe they found themselves a gem here and got some value with this pick at this number.
But I think analytically, you could have waited. So why trade up to take this pick? That would be my question to them.
Fair question. Fair question. That is a fair question. And sometimes, to your point, the amateur scouts would have the opportunity.
But I think they need a defenseman too, right?
Without question.
Les Canadiens de Montréal sont fiers de sélectionner de la Ligue élite de Slovaquie, Philippe Méchard.
Tam LaPointe actually,
yes,
right there, looking beautiful in that jacket.
I love that
jacket. What about this pick, Megan?
And he was 20th, so this is a good pick for the Canadians. He joins the other Slovakian players in the first round and generates chances in transition. Very strong in playmaking and moves the puck into scoring areas. He has a vision as a passer and can find passing lanes into scoring areas. He's comparable to a Connor Garland, so could be a little bit of a size comparison too. That's okay. Love a scrappy player that can score.
Don't agree. Another Slovakian, which is amazing.
Yeah.
We mentioned history. What a night it is for them. We always see obviously the Czech players in a bigger population, but for the Slovak players, proud. The great Hostels in the building, I might add too.
All right.
So he's got to feel proud of what he's seeing with his young countrymen that are following in his footsteps. But a skilled player, you mentioned a Connor Garland type player. Look at the smile on his face.
Oh, he's age 17. I'm guessing he's going to turn 18 soon. But 4 goals, 10 assists in just 36 games. Wow, looks like Montreal wants to go with bottom 6 people.
So, you know, if there's ever a guy that can work with somebody or help somebody, it'd be Marty. Marty really thinks the game on a high level. This is a kid that he's got speed, he's got skill. I guess the only question mark you have for him is his size and whether or not he can compete at that level. But certainly seems to have the skill.
Well, Marty knows you don't have to be big to be good.
National Hockey League.
Yeah.
But he was just a tick taller than Marty.
Yeah, even small people can do well.
The hair is a little
The
tall.
gel.
Feeling it. Look at Marty beaming too, and behind him and Vinny. Two of my former Tampa teammates.
When I saw him take that one timer on the one side there, he looked like a right-handed shooting Marty St. Louis on that side. That's what made me think of that.
Good call. Good call. Habs fans on their feet, of course, there at the Bell Center.
Sean Bellows runner, number 4.
Yes. And that's exactly why Vinny.
Before we make our selection,
My career.
on behalf of the Marchman family and the San Jose Sharks
Is he ever a
organization,
player?
I
Yeah.
want to express our sincere thanks for the outpouring of love and support that we have received over the last 24 hours in response to the sudden loss of our beloved friend and colleague, Brian Marchman. As most of you know, Brian loved the game of hockey. He absolutely loved it. He breathed it, he used it. No one was happier to be at the rink than Mush. His opponents may not have enjoyed playing against him, but as someone who was his teammate, I can tell you that there was no one I would rather go into battle with, or who you would want on the bench than Brian. Brian's reputation on the ice was that of a fierce, relentless competitor. But off the ice, he was honest, down to earth, loving, and he truly cared about people. You can tell this by the way he engaged with everyone, the questions he asked, and the time he spent with you as a person. The imprint that he has left on his teammates during his 17-year NHL career, the Sharks prospects who he has mentored and helped develop, and on his colleagues, both inside and outside of the Sharks organization, will be felt well into the future. Tonight, we again send our most heartfelt condolences to all of Brian's family and friends, but particularly his parents, John and Joanne, his siblings, Wayne, Carrie, and Tara, and especially his wife, Kim, his children, Mason and Logan.
So this guy who
We love you,
died,
Brian.
Marchman, how old
You will
was
be
he?
missed.
I don't know.
You will never be forgotten. To make our first round selection is our Director of Scouting, Doug Wilson.
The San Jose Sharks are proud to select from Linköping center Philip Bistad.
So the Sharks go center. What kind of player are they getting here? Their fans watching at home. Megan?
Yeah, shout out to Doug Wilson Jr. I mean, the Wilson family in San Jose had such a long tenure, such smart hockey people, and I think this is a great pick. He plays a puck possession style. He protects the puck in the offensive zone. A tall center, which allows plays to develop, and he doesn't force plays. High controlled entry rates and wants to carry the puck into the zone. He ranks second in the IHF under 18 tournament in faceoffs taken and wins. He creates high quality offensive chances in transition.
A really controlled player. That's the way it was explained to me. Controlled in all 3 zones, any situation, and the type of player that any coach can put over the boards at any time. And you know, for the young players playing in Sweden, it's very rare to get ice time. But he really earned a lot of ice time and the trust in the coaching staff, which to me says a lot about a young player, especially at the center ice position with all the defensive responsibilities.
Yeah, a good NHL-sized body, right? He's over 6'2". I think he's a notch under the 3 guys that were taken from your guard. You know, so but this is a guy that, you know, I think a lot of people had inside the first round. for San Jose, I thought defense they needed to address. I don't know how many defense are left at this point, but I also thought center was an area that they could address as well. So this is a guy that has an NHL body, can skate. You just wonder how much offense there really is in his game compared to those three other guys that came out of your guard.
Fair point there. And for the San Jose Sharks, a real tough situation is clearly with the passing of Brian Marchment, first and most foremost. There on the right
Oh,
screen, you
I
see
think that's Vlasic in the background.
Vlasic, Edward Vlasic. You have to wonder if he's going to be there in their long term.
Vlasic.
And again, you heard my career with the condolences to the Marchment family. That's kind of their salute.
Classy
to
touch,
Brian. Yeah,
mush right there.
Unexpectedly passing away at the age of 53. Since
53.
Obviously for his parents.
Yeah.
For his son,
Man, he
Mason,
really
who
died a
sadly
bit
lost in
soon.
NHL this year, and you guys, you knew around him.
Probably health problems.
What are some of his attributes?
Just a warrior.
Yeah.
A warrior in every way. And really good to a lot of young players. Had his hard rules, but he was good to a lot of young players, which is why he's in this role. Not only as a scout, but also in player development. He helped mentor a lot of these young players.
With the 20th pick, the Buffalo Sabres are proud to select from the Czech League, Yuri Kulik.
So the Czech League with another player. Yuri Kulik is the selection for the Buffalo Sabres. Again, their third pick here in the first round.
And I'll tell you this, a skilled player, played up in the top league last year in Czech Republic. I think for Buffalo, they have the ability to get as creative as they'd like to.
My career
A
because
skilled,
NHL
very, very calm.
Yeah, I know about
On
that.
his tape.
Yeah.
This is one thing that jumps
It
out
must
to
have
me
just happened,
with
right?
him. And I think for the Buffalo Sabres,
Obviously,
if we can
he's
see
been
kind of a pattern
appointed.
of what they're drafting, they're really putting a precedent on skill. I think this is a nice pick for them here.
I agree, and had a really strong showing at the under-18 tournament, so that probably played into it as well. He was leading in power play shot attempts, goals, one-time shot attempts with 19, offensive zone possession time per game at 1 minute and 10 seconds. He has a shot-first tendency, shoots the puck often with quality, so if you're looking at analytics, you like a guy like this, high expected goals, and his positioning is key.
Yeah, just recently. They still don't know.
Offensively finds space. I think this is a good pick for Buffalo.
Yeah, totally. I echo that.
And versatile too. Can play center, can play wing. So there's some versatility there. Good one-on-one skills
in the
right off the rush.
1987
I mean, I think some people had him rated a little higher than this. So the fact that he slips this far down is a good pickup for Buffalo. Buffalo's had a nice night tonight.
I also say I haven't seen Kim Pegula tonight, but she's one of the best owners and very receptive, smart, a woman as well. And I know she was having some health issues, so I hope she's doing better. But just think the Sabres are a smart organization, and the Buffalo Bills are going to win the Super Bowl this year.
Oh, wow.
That's a goal shot from
Bills Mafia.
But will you jump on the
guess
Blackhawks
maybe
table?
at some point they'll find out more.
Yeah, we will find out soon.
I love it.
I'm not sure where it is. Spider last year. Yeah, LA last year.
LA last year, sorry, SoFi. It was at SoFi. Rams won in LA, excuse me.
I think right, 4 picks left. Edmonton's up next. Looks like they're going to trade out of this pick.
What?
Rangers are seeing Ken Holland and the Oilers try to make that next jump in support of Connor McDavid. Here's the trade.
We have a trade to announce. The Edmonton Oilers trade Zach Cassian,
Ooh.
pick number 29 in this year's draft.
To the Coyotes. Man, too many teams are demanding too many picks.
2024 and Edmonton's second round pick in 2025.
They're demanding picks?
Yeah, because they're getting too much.
For pick number 32 in this year's draft.
So they gained some picks to move.
The Arizona Coyotes select le voltigeur de Drummondville, Maverick Lamoureux.
Maverick, that's his name?
Yeah, Lamoureux.
Lamoureux. That's it. You know that name for women's college hockey and women's Olympics.
No question.
No relation, though.
No relation.
And you'll see how big he is when he's walking up too. 6'7".
You can see he's like a head taller than every single other person that he's hugging. It's like he towers over all of them.
Comparable to
Probably except that guy in the back.
Yeah, but I think he's like standing up higher.
Yeah, but that guy looked tall.
From a lot of scouts, so he may take a little bit longer to get into the NHL than normal. But that's normal for that big of a frame, right? To move like that. He takes pucks away from opponents.
He's 6'7".
Wow. And he's consistently in good positions, defending and defends the middle of the ice. Is good puck management, limits turnovers, and focuses on simple, efficient plays.
Steady, consistent to your point defensively. And in a league that still has a lot of electrifying offensive players, the tendency, especially in your draft years, is to want to try to force offense, especially in a draft of this magnitude with this many defensemen that have gone. But I like the fact that he really plays within himself. He doesn't chase the game, and he doesn't force plays offensively. There's something to be said for that, especially for a young man in their draft year.
He got some style too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he is thin. 197 pounds.
He's in Quebec. He plays in Drummondville.
Socks optional.
I love that.
Oh my God, his pants are like way too short.
Can't get down to the ankles, even if he tried.
Well, it looks like that because he has no socks.
Yeah, no, but his pants are much too short. He probably, because he's so tall, he probably couldn't find
If these
the suits to, fit him properly. He probably would have had to have it custom made.
You know, if they, you give him time.
I mean, they don't make suits
fill
for
up into his
people who are
frame.
6'7".
He's a project
unless
to
you
me.
go
I
to
mean, this is a
some
guy
kind
that
of
he can be a bit of a reach, but
special
if he
place.
can turn into a good player, you got a guy that's got size that can skate pretty well. And obviously gets a nice chair in his home province.
Yeah.
Tallest first rounder since 2016, Logan Stanley.
Yeah. Who's become a nice D-man up there in Winnipeg, Logan Stanley, number 64. I like him. But in the case of Bill Armstrong, I still had the chance to see him play in junior when he played in Oshawa, for the Generals and won the 1990 Memorial Cup, along with the great Eric Lindros and Freddie Brathwaite in that group. As a long, tall defenseman himself, to your point, he kind of knows what this path
Some of
is
these
like.
guys
He's done it
that were up
himself.
there on the
So,
stage were like
Not gonna be a lot of offense in his game,
tall.
right? It's gonna be all about defense with this guy.
Yeah.
Maverick Lamoureux. It's like a French Canadian gunsmoke.
French Canadian gunsmoke. Because Maverick is like, that's a word. I mean, it's like.
Okay.
Yes,
all right. Nice.
Hey, we're
Come on now.
Hey, we're at nighttime.
That was the Western TV show in the 60s or 70s called Maverick.
Hey, it's 10:48 in Montreal. The fun's just getting started. What happens in Montreal?
Stays in Montreal. Merci beaucoup.
What? They said what?
Merci beaucoup. No, that's what I'm saying.
Who said that?
I did.
The P is silent. It's merci beaucoup.
And another commercial. Come on.
Merci beaucoup.
And
The Winnipeg Jets are proud to select from the Lottie.
I said nothing about
I
Zibanejad.
thought he was coming up for.
No.
Where people thought he
Far
would go.
from it.
What's up with Brad Lambert, Megan?
Well, obviously, Dana likes this player more. I had him at 12.
Oh, Brad Lambert. He finally got
He
chosen.
carries the puck with speed, which I love, through the neutral zone. He has controlled zone entries with a possession.
Oh, there's less than 10 minutes left.
He has good vision
I don't
too,
think we're gonna
finding
have enough
passing lanes,
time.
creates shots for teammates, gets those
Well,
shot
if you
assists
miss
in.
one or two,
And
you
he's
can always
comparable
look it
to
up
Matthew
on.
I know, but still, I shouldn't have had
You
to.
know what? It's more of a top 15.
Well, I should have added on more time.
But the thing is, or better yet, people need to stop making trades and stop having commercial every pick.
But as far as the trade, it's just part of the whole.
I know, but still, it happened too much, like 5+ times in the first round.
Imagine if I hadn't added on any time.
I know.
We would have only gotten maybe up to 20.
Or maybe lower. Yeah, but still, if it wasn't for the trades and commercial per pick, we could have made it. It would have been over several minutes ago.
As a late 03 birth, birthday.
But the commercials, they figure that in when they say
But still, but we shouldn't be watching them after every single pick. It should be every several picks.
You'd say terrific hockey player. Seems to be a lot of noise about him on the outside. You wonder if that will get cleaned up.
I mean, like, that's more repetitive than the Pittsburgh fans.
Oh, I knew that other guy. That guy.
Yeah, bonus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, having that is more repetitive. And commercial again? Come on!
They might also,
ridiculous.
It might also be because if these people are on the clock.
But still, they shouldn't. They never have it at every single time.
I think we're gonna be up to the.
Exactly, because of the stupid commercials. It's like, can you just let more picks go along? We're here to watch picks, not commercials.
But like I said, I mean, if the people haven't made up their mind yet.
Well, they should have.
So Winnipeg gets the right hand.
Anyways, for desperation to get more money. Like, they don't care about what the people want. They care about cash.
4 points in his 7 games.
I mean, it's more repetitive than the times Pittsburgh fans were mocking Shesterkin. Yeah, but if you thought that's bad, having commercials every pick is worse.
Bonjour Montreal. Merci beaucoup pour la hospitalité. With the 31st pick, Tampa Bay Lightning pleased to select Isaac Howard from the U.S. Development
Isaac Howard.
Look at the turtleneck. I love the turtleneck and the chain and the white jacket.
Different.
That's 90s.
Different than what?
That's the 90s.
And the white suit. Love them.
That looks like Night at the Roxbury to me.
And he's got a USA, an American flag belt buckle.
Of course, I love the swag.
Hey, the scouting report on this guy is he does not lack swag.
Really?
Yeah, swag all day. Yep. And you can see it.
What about on the ice?
He doesn't lack confidence. Correct. Look at this. I mean, hanging on to pucks. Very good offense. I mean, this guy he's a real talented player. Not much defense to his game, but I think that's one of those things that I never, like, when people say that to me, I'm always like, well, you're playing in the national program, right? You're trying to develop your skills. Correct. Why would you be worried about the defensive side of things? I think that's something you can always work on. I think Tampa Bay, with this pick, they needed to get somebody with a high-end skill level. I think they found it with Isaac Howard. I think it's a good pick.
I totally agree. His nickname's the Iceman, too. Sure. And I'm telling you, this guy's skill and his belief in that skill is oozing. Tampa's a nice fit for him.
And they were playing Star Wars in the background.
So I think this is a nice, excellent pick for the
Because
Tampa
why
Bay.
not?
Fans are probably watching down in channel side in Tampa right
You
now.
surround him with some real quality.
Maybe Howard is a Star Wars guy.
One pick to go in the first round. The Edmonton Oilers will make.
And another commercial? Come on!
I think you're gonna miss the last.
Exactly, cause of those stupid commercials. Doing it once, I'm mad. Doing it twice, that's worse. Doing it 3 times, how could you? Doing it 4 times, now I'm really irritated. But when you do it 5 or plus more times, you're a gold digger.
Now, before it's too late. And no, it's not cryptocurrency.
What a way to ruin the draft.
Biggest prediction of my 50-year career, along with the name and ticker symbol with the #1 investment.
That was the 31st
time ever.
Yeah, we were 1 away. And we could have made it if it wasn't for the stupid commercials.
Let's look up any.
I am right now.
You're already looking?
Yeah.
The History Channel limited documentary series Coliseum.
Brian Marshman was the first round pick.
I'm looking at.
So check it out. I got this cool thing. I'm partnering with Major
podcast.com. I got a new action figure coming out for my Tyrus fans, and it drops tomorrow and it'll be available for 2 weeks. So it's good. You want a little me with you at night to go with your audiobook. There you go.
The Oilers have selected Reed Schaefer.
Oh, there's some old ladies out. I know my base.
Yes.
I mean, little, you know, they'll just.
I don't think we've seen them in the list.
I don't think so either.
I think they went off the chart. So that was it. So here's pretty much the summary of the draft. One half involves the picks by the Canadiens and the Coyotes. The second half, I mean, the other half is filled with trades and commercials. I mean, it's like commercials and trades. Montreal and the Coyotes are more important than the first overall pick. At this point, the first overall pick is the 5th overall pick.
Hello and welcome to Fox News at Night.
But that was done.